Good morning. It's breakfast with Kevin Cook, and I'm his wife, Sherry.
Welcome. Hope you're having a great Saturday morning. We're excited to be with you on this rainy day.
Not the type of weather we were expecting today, but we appreciate you joining us. For those that are just tuning in, we're talking about education today, and education is really important to Kevin, and it's important to me too, because education is where we met. Had we not gone on to college, we would have never met.
We were in a heredity class together, and being raised on a farm and trying to improve our cattle, I knew about heredity and the importance of it. Sherry,
I knew about heredity too, but I just didn't get the class. I don't know why. I just struggled in it.
But it came quite naturally to me for some reason. But Sherry really is super smart, but she struggled in this class, something terribly. But anyway, we figured that from that class it would have these most awesome kids, so we decided to get married.
Oh, that was after I talked him into taking me out.
But anyway, education is important, and it's important to Idaho. It's one of the big issues that Idaho faces right now, and maybe just one reason why education is so important to me. As many as you know, I work at the Idaho National Laboratory, and as such I get every other Friday off, and I take that Friday, and I've been for the last 5 years volunteering at the middle school here, going in and reading and helping with the kids. And that has been so rewarding as I've met different kids and some of the things that they struggle with. Reading skills. For instance, I've had one young man that I work with, and we talked about some of their dreams, first of all, what they wanted to do. And they're no different than when you were in 8th grade. Some of them wanted to be a fireman, wanted to be a professional athlete, a doctor, a lawyer, an electrician. And so we got to know them. And then we started reading. And as when we started reading, I realized that these kids aren't going to make their dreams. That some of them are reading at a 2nd grade level. Now, that disturbed me, and I thought, okay, we've got to do something to help give these kids greater opportunities, to help them with their reading skills. We got awesome teachers, and we got awesome kids. And somehow we just need to get things rolling. And so that's why I'm passionate about education, is I want to help these kids. And of course, that's where I met this beautiful woman, is in education, and so we're excited about it.
Your life's been for the better ever since, right?
It has.
That's right. So we posted something on Facebook a little earlier this week, or not we, Kevin, about education, and from that post we had quite a few questions. That's why we're talking about education today, for those of you that are just joining us on this rainy Saturday morning. So some of the concerns with education dealt with teacher salaries.
So yeah, there's a question on the teacher salary, and what do we do there? I believe our teachers start out from a college education. I believe their starting wages are around $35,000. Can you imagine trying to support a family on $35,000 for a year? That is pretty tough, even if it even is possible. So a lot of these teachers, they teach our kids. They spend 8-9 hour days in the classroom, and then as soon as the classroom is done, they hurry off to their second job, and they work there. In the summers, they're spending 3 months trying to work, and at the same time get some of their lesson plans ready for the next year. So I believe we need to help our teachers. Also, we kind of have a backward way of how we pay teachers. Currently, we pay teachers for how many belly buttons they have in the classroom. Well, we pay teachers, they're professional teachers, we pay them to teach. So why don't we pay them to teach instead of how many belly buttons are in their room? Representative Horman and I believe Senator Wheeler are working on this concept of paying teachers a different way. We pay them for their professionalism, for being professional teachers. They've been working on this, I think, for about 5 years, and it's not quite there yet, but it's getting closer. And so also the legislator, I believe this year and last year, they worked on the teacher pay scale, on the teacher ladder, and they pumped in, I think, $225 million to help our teachers pay. So things are improving, and we're getting there. Obviously, we need to keep working to that end.
You know, our kids have been blessed with really, really amazing teachers all throughout school. In fact, our baby's graduating from high school this year, and I'm not going to cry about it, not at all. But we did have some questions, some concerns about high school and what's being taught and what's not being taught. In fact, Adam Russell had a pretty great question about that.
Andrew Russell.
Andrew Russell. Sorry, Andrew.
Yeah, he had a question. He kind of said, a lot of the classes that so he's a recent graduate. And so, I'm not sure which high school, but he's a recent graduate. But he had a concern that he had to call all these classes, and some of them were worthless. Didn't really help him in life. But he says, nothing in there helped me know how to budget, know how to fill out a credit card, which I got all these credit card applications as soon as I graduated or as soon as I turned 18. Nothing helped me to know how to use my finances, how to invest, or to be an entrepreneur. Well, the good news, Andrew, is that my neighbor, Stuart Draper, she's surprised that I remember his name. Stuart Draper.
Remember names.
He is the CEO of Stu Kent, and they met with the legislators this year and went and talked to them about a new program where they would provide the curriculum to go teach in high schools these kids how to budget their money, how to use finances, how to invest with their money. And then the Idaho Central Credit Union said they would put up the funds, the finances for this class. So that is one of those life skills that they need to have, obviously, and so there is work to make sure that we're starting to teach that. Another lesson that, or another question that came in that was on the same thing was from Mrs. Holly. She is a retired school teacher, one of the great school teachers. She taught some of our kids at Sunnyside. She had an example of why life skills are so important. She talked about a young lady that had just, I don't know if she had graduated from college yet, but she went and did an interview. And the young lady says, I failed the interview terribly. I just couldn't answer the questions. I was nervous, I was scared, whatever. It just didn't go really, really well. And she knew it. But towards the end of the conversation, the individual that was doing the interview said, just in small talk, says, I got a flat tire. And this young woman said, I can fix that. And he was a little bit surprised, and he took her up on the challenge. She went outside, jacked the car up, took the tire off, put the new tire on, and the flat tire back in the trunk. And she completed that all by herself in amazement of this interviewer. And she got the job. Sometimes life skills are more important. It shows that you're capable of learning, that you're capable of working hard and making things happen. And so I think that's some of the stuff that we need to teach in school, is some of the general life skills that they're important.
Well, what are we doing to help our students prepare for a higher education?
Oh, this is the exciting one. So our legislative have done some amazing things with this. They have called it the, oh heavens, what did they call it? Anyway,
Advanced Opportunities.
Advanced Opportunities. And you should go look out on the Idaho State School for Advanced Opportunities. They got some amazing things that they're doing. And in fact, one of the things that they've put $4,125 per student. And they can use this from 7th grade through 12th grade to take some dual credit hours for school, and they earn college credit for it. They can do overloaded courses. They've got Idaho Online Academy, where they can go in and take classes during the summer, or they can take classes, online classes in the morning or after high school classes. So they can do that besides carrying their regular high school credits. They also have a program where you can take an exam. And if you test out of that exam, you will get high school credit for that class. You don't need to take the class. And then there's another one that asked the question, an individual online that said, I think it was Andrew as well, that talked about that college is not for everybody. some kids are thinking like, I just finished high school, going for 4 more years, I would rather die. Okay, well, what would happen if we gave them the opportunity to learn some trades or skills during those high school years? Yeah, and so they have a program, they call it the workforce training, and where they can go in and learn some skills. They can take some extra classes and learn some of these skills. Something that we did at the high school that I was raised at in Spanish Fork. They had, every year, they built a house. So they have stilts out there for the foundation, and they build a full-scale house from scratch. All the way up to putting the shingles and the cabinets in, the electricity, the plumbing, I mean everything. And then at the end of the school year, and the kids are the ones that are building this under the supervision of their teachers, but at the end of the school year, this house would be sold to the highest bidder. And then they'd take this house and move it and sit it down on the foundation, and then you had the happy family that enjoyed that. But here's the cool thing, is growing up in high school, talking to my friends and to kids that were actually building the house, they had a lot of pride in what they were doing, and so it went throughout the whole high school. We were proud to think that house is ours. In fact, today, still today, I can go through Spanish Fork and tell you which house was built by my high school and where it was at. So it was pretty cool. But these kids graduated from high school knowing how to be an electrician, how to frame a house, how to do those things. And maybe the same line is Doug Sayer, who is the CEO of Premier Technology. He made a statement in one of the City Club meetings this month. He said, "My company could hire every welder that this state could produce this year." And he says, "I still wouldn't fill all of the jobs that I have." And so there's jobs that are out there that we aren't filling because our kids aren't getting trained. So we're going to give, so this advanced opportunities that the state of Idaho is doing is amazing. It's giving the kids a chance to get a head start into college at a very, very cheap rate, get associate's degree. It also is giving kids the opportunity to learn some trades and some skills. Some statistics about that is District 91 will have its first graduate this year that will graduate with an associate's degree. District 93 will have 6 last year that graduated with their associate's degree, and they'll have 12. He didn't say 12. Dr. Wolstenholme believed that they will double that figure. He didn't have the actual figures that would happen there that would graduate with associate's degree. But overall, 238 students this year should graduate from Idaho high schools with an associate degree. And I says, well, it doesn't sound like it's catching on here in southeastern Idaho, and it's not. However, it is starting to. In fact, 50% of our students throughout Idaho, 50% of our high school students are enrolled with this dual credit system where they're getting credits for college. So things are happening. It is really, really exciting what's going on.
Well, and I don't know if people know and really appreciate the College of Eastern Idaho. That's just right here. You got to tour that, and you were blown away at some of the things that you saw. You should tell them about what you saw in the nursing department.
That is awesome. So I went into the nursing center. So let's see, Anne-Marie Peters. She is over...
Anne-Marie.
Yeah, Anne-Marie Peters. Anyway, she was over the Eastern Idaho, and she's the one that took me on the tour. She is passionate about further educating our kids, for those who want to go on and learn some stuff. But
she's passionate for trade school and
college.
It's
true.
Yeah.
So she took me on this tour of the nursing center. This was, I don't know how many rooms there was in this nursing center, but it was donated. The money was donated to create it. And she made the statement, if there ever is a need, like the coronavirus, says if there's ever a need that we need another hospital in town, says these beds are equipped just like a hospital. It looks, smells, it is a hospital basically. But they have these, not dummies.
Yeah, I don't know because I didn't see, but I want to see. Was it a
mannequins? Mannequins.
Okay.
They have these mannequins. These are high-tech mannequins, and so they use them for these nurses to train on. And so they've got a guy in the back room that's looking on his computer, and it shows these cameras all over the room where the nurses are practicing on this mannequin. And so he watches what they're doing. I probably have the terms wrong, but let's say that the nurse gives a 1 cc too much of a shot to the mannequin. The patient.
So
there
it's
you
like
go.
a patient.
It's like a patient. The guy in the back room on the computer, he sees that and he hits a button and it puts the mannequin or the patient into seizures.
Or cardiac arrest.
Cardiac
or
arrest,
whatever.
he can make the fever go up or blood pressure go up. It even can yell out in pain. It has bodily fluids. I mean, it is amazing what these are not just your mannequins that you pull off the floor at Dillard's or anything else. These are pretty cool. But this is one of the most advanced high-tech nursing training centers, probably this side of the west of the Mississippi. I mean, it's just incredible what the College of Eastern Idaho does. I also talked, we were at one of the another meeting where we talked with one of the presidents of, I think it was president of ISU.
Oh yeah.
And
Yes.
I said, and his name was Kevin. I don't remember his last name. For some reason, I remember his first name. But anyway, I asked him. I says, "What is College of Eastern Idaho doing for you, or is it taking money, or is it taking kids away from you? How does it fit in the play?" And I was quite surprised. He says, "Oh no." He says they are doing a great job because what they're doing is they're getting kids at remedial levels and raising them up, getting their associate's degree, and then they come to the other universities where we'll take them to the next level, to the 300 and 400 level classes. And so they are working very good with the College of Eastern Idaho, and this community college really is filling some great holes that we have in Idaho Falls in our community. I'm excited about what our community college is doing here and how it's helping our kids.
We've gotten way off topic though, and some of what our questions were. Sorry about that. Shout out to the CEI, not on purpose. So other questions we had from like Forrest Eiler and Darren Jehoshaphat. Sorry, Darren, I slaughter names too. But anyway, they asked questions, and we keep hearing this. What about combining school districts?
That's a good one. I looked that up and had a few facts that you might be on. First of all, I don't have all the answers, and you probably already figured that out by now. But
And there's lots of experts that do.
Yeah.
That probably do have the answers.
and that's the one thing I don't believe that our questions that we have or problems that we have in here in Idaho, I truly believe that they've been solved somewhere else. That we just need to study and look further and look out and find out what other people are doing and then adapt that to fit our needs. But back to Forrest's question and Darren's question is the districts. So you might find this interesting. So in Idaho, we have 90 school districts. You might think that's a lot. In Utah, they have 41. In Nevada, they have 18. But in Montana, they have 496. And in Washington, they have 294. So I don't know what's good or bad or where that fits. But in August of 2011, there was a study given, and you can go look at this out on the internet if you do a search for it. In fact, it was on the District 91 site that I actually went and read this. But it talked overall, it suggested that combining District 91 and 93 together, that there would be no cost savings of doing that. They felt like that these two districts were running as efficient as possible, and that by combining them that there wouldn't really be any savings. However, they did say that they felt like that there might be an impact on or implications to the patrons, to the tax-paying patrons. And so
You mean like we'd have to pay more if they combined?
I'm not positive on that, but that's how I gathered it, yeah. So I didn't read in great detail of the report, and again, but that's what they said, and maybe it's time to do another report, I don't know. But however,
Well, you've met
I've met with both
Right.
superintendents, and they're great guys, and
Yeah,
they are
good things going
passionate
on.
about education. I walked away from both of them two things. Is one, they are professional educators. And that's where they want to focus on, is on the education and how to help give the teachers the tools that they need to be professional educators too. I also walked away from both of these superintendents is that they have a love for learning, and they want to share that love with the students. They are passionate about their kids that are in their district and helping them. So it was very interesting. I enjoyed meeting with both of them.
Well, the other hot topic, Common Core.
Common Core.
Do you want to go there?
Yeah, absolutely. So Common Core, or known as Idaho Content Standards,
I don't know,
is how we've called it. And so what they did is Common Core came from back east, where they got a bunch of educators together. They put together a Common Core, and I think 47 states bought into it and says, yes, that's what we want to do. I think there's a little bit of misconception of what that Common Core is. The Common Core are standards. Common Core does not, or Idaho Content Standards does not tell the district or tell what the curriculum should be. It doesn't tell the teachers how to teach it. They are standards. Now you think about it. Our life runs by standards. We have standards in how our electricity is delivered to our home. We have standards in agriculture, how what meat and what milk we buy. There are standards in that. We have standards in athletics, the size of the home plate. When they in baseball, the size the rim in basketball, there are standards that we work towards and know about. These teachers, they love standards because they know that, okay, that's what I need to shoot for. That's what I need by the end of the year or the end of the semester. I need my kids to know how to do this type of, how to do addition or multiplication and so forth. And so the standards are a good thing. The Common Core or the Idaho Content did not tell the teachers how to teach or what to teach. And this is where it's important for us as parents. The district sets the curriculum. The district, your school board. And so when we vote a school board member in, we need to make sure that we know what we're doing. We get involved with our school board and help with the curriculum. And then our professional teachers take that curriculum and teach it. So what's happened this year in the session, legislative session, is the House voted to drop all standards, and then the Senate Education Committee said, okay, we're good with that, but we want to keep the standards in place until, let's just keep working with these standards until we get the new ones done. And so right now there is a movement to get some educators together, and I think you'll see that happen this summer. Get some educators together and start from ground zero. Ground zero, nothing that's coming back from back east or anything else. These will be Idaho standards, and it'll be done by our educationers, our professional educators, come together with some standards and decide what needs to be done. And so I don't know how long that'll take. My guess is probably 6 months to 18 months to get those standards together and have everybody agree on it. And then we go forward on that. But kind of exciting.
Well, we don't want to keep these folks too long this morning. What else do you want to share with them?
I just say that I talked with an individual, Jay Doman, and he does a little bit of the Head Start program, and it is wonderful. And of trying to get people Head Start, getting the kids at an early age, getting them involved with education. One of the statements that he said that I am a true believer of is he said, we either invest in education now at this young age, or we'll pay big dividends, or we'll pay big bucks later on when we try to support them as they're raising a family. So as a person that's running for Senate in District 30, I am passionate about education. I want to invest in education, and so that when these young men and young women graduate, whether it's from high school or an advanced degree in college, that they will be becoming a contributing member of our community and pay taxes and help with everything else we do. Again, I'm a conservative Republican. I am running for District 30 Senate seat, and I would appreciate your vote on May 19th. I'm also interested in hearing any more of your comments and your questions and concerns about education, because together I believe that we can lift Idaho to be first and to be number one. Thank you.
Thanks.
What to say?
Let's see.
You made 2 more comments real quick.
Oh, we do?
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like we have 2 more comments we're going to try and answer.
Okay, so I've always felt there could be synergies gained by combining districts where possible.
Okay, we kind of talked about that one. And that is a study that we, again, I'd suggest you go out to District 91 site and look at that study. You know, off the cuff, you think, well, of course, combine 2, it'd be more efficient. But I don't know. Maybe it's time to do another study and look at that. So what
You're
other
not,
else we
you're
got?
not an expert.
No.
So. Oh, what about internships? Not only at the college level, but maybe at the high school level.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. I know that, again, I'm not representing Idaho National Laboratory. I'm an employee there, and that is all. However, I do know that they hire between 600 and 800 internships or students for internships every year. And incredible chance to get your feet wet, and not just in STEMs, but if you want to be an administrator, a secretary, a project lead, anything else that you want to do. It's an incredible place right here in our backyard that we have with the Idaho National Laboratory. I don't think we understand what a gem we have available and the things that they do for us. And so internships are certainly available, and it should be part of your education to take part and learn that. And at the INL, they pay you. So it's not a free internship. They pay you, and it's well worth your while. If you're interested in that, go out to inl.gov, and you'll see that there's a place that you can apply for those. And those are year-round. It's not just during the summer, but year-round.
Well, and you have an opportunity to work with BYUI students too, and they've got amazing internship programs. But that's at the college level. We're talking high school.
Well, both high school and college. It's all education. That I believe BYUI, one of their requirements is to graduate is that you do an internship, and I think that's the case with our state schools as well, universities. But it's a way you really figure out before you graduate, is this really what I want to do? And so it's a good thing.
You know, I'm having technical difficulties. I can't pull up all the questions. I've gotten several texts saying they can't pull it up. So, you know, this wind out here is just something. It affects everything.
We're out in the country. We got wind and we got rain. And so it was good enough for you to join us for
our connection's good enough, right?
Yeah. but I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us for breakfast on Saturday. And hopefully we'll see you again shortly. We're thinking we do this more often because of the coronavirus. That going to cottage meetings might not be, some people say, I'm not going anywhere. And so we're going to try and do more of these on Facebook Live and give you a chance to get to know us and what some of the issues that and how I stand on those issues. But thank you. Have a great, wonderful weekend. Talk to you later.
See ya.